Hey everyone, Michelle Alexandria here, coming at you with my very first impressions video on the Xbox One X. I actually purchased this. This is the Scorpio edition, so I've had this for about 3 weeks now, and I feel like I can actually talk about it for a few minutes. So I'm not going to make this video long because I'm sure you all know enough about the X by now to where I don't have to tell you about the teraflops or the 4K goodness or any of that kind of stuff. So I'm just going to tell you what I think about the system. So far, I don't like it. I hate to say that, but I kind of don't like it. I mean, in some ways, I love it. I mean, I actually think Microsoft did a brilliant job with the system in terms of the raw power. I love the fact that that the games just look brilliant on this thing. I mean, really, the games just look amazing. You can see some of the games that I have. Microsoft had a huge Black Friday deal a couple of weeks ago, and I bought about 7 titles during that deal. Like I picked up the Witcher 3, and these are all games I haven't played before, so they're new to me. I haven't played the Witcher 3, and everyone says this is one of the most amazing games ever. So I picked it up for about $10. I picked up Activision sent me a copy of Destiny 2, and I played it on my Pro, and I've been patiently waiting for the new patch to come out for the X. Need for Speed Payback is actually part of Microsoft's part of EA Access, so I could pick that up. Battlefield 1, Tomb Raider, Halo 3, and a bunch of other stuff. So I'm straight with the games. I'm very straight with the games. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty World War II. But here's the problem. The games look amazing, but everything else with this console just feels harder than it needs to be. And I'm going to start with the interface. What is this? This interface is just terrible. It's hard to navigate. It's hard to navigate around. Well, it's not hard to navigate around, but unless you spend a lot of quality time in this interface, it's just hard to find anything. Ooh, Sharknado 5. Where was I? I missed out on that. You know, little known fact, you can see my arm in Sharknado 3. So if you go back and watch Sharknado 3, the opening sequence with Ian or Ian Ziering, my arm is in that shot. So anyway, I'm not a fan of the interface at all. And the problem with this console is it's buggy. It is there are issues with how some of the main things that I bought this console for. So one of the reasons why I bought this console was for the UHD playback. And the problem with the playback is it doesn't really work. On some movies, it works perfectly fine, and I think the quality of the playback when it does work is on par with my Samsung K9500, and I love that player. That player looks brilliant. So for me to make that compliment, that means this player is doing something, and so it's far superior than my Xbox One S. It really is. So I'm loving the Blu-ray playback, but the problem is, for some strange reason, it won't work with Sony 4K disc, and I think it has to do with the implementation of Sony's Blu-ray Live, that old crappy software that no one uses anymore by Sony. So I've tried several different 4K discs in this, like 6 movies, and none of them work. I would either get audio dropout, or I'll get the audio but no picture. It stutters. The fan starts up really loud. It's literally unplayable. I'm sure it will be patched at some point, but the problem is I have no patience to be a beta tester. So if I plop down $500 on a console and one of the main features I want is the 4K UHD and it's not playing every movie back properly, that's kind of a deal breaker for me. It just is. So that's a deal breaker. And then the other reason why I purchased this was for the 4K capture feature. I was so excited to be able to bring you guys some feeble 4K gameplay. Some of my famous feeble 4K gameplay, but for some reason, the capture card, the implementation of the 4K capture on this device is absolutely retarded. Where basically you can only and I'm going to try to find it. Not to mention, everything's just hard to find on this thing. It's annoying. I hate this new interface. So basically, for the 4K capture, not only do you need it took me 3 hours to figure out how to properly format my hard drive to begin with. So that drove me nuts because I use a Mac and I also have a PC. But for some reason, my two external hard drives that I use, one of them created a special boot partition called an EFI partition, and SBOS was too stupid to read the actual real NTFS format, so then I couldn't get it to boot for this to save my life, and then eventually I found an old Seagate drive that actually wasn't formatted, so then I ended up formatting that, and that works. But I shouldn't have to go through that. The other problem is I shouldn't need two separate hard drives for one console. So I need to have one console. I need one drive for one hard drive for my games and a totally separate drive just to capture footage. That's ridiculous. The other problem is when you capture footage, you can't transfer 4K HD captures off of your hard drive. So off of the SBOT. So the only place the captures will show up is actually on your hard drive. And when you click manage your hard drive, why aren't my games showing up here? I just don't understand this interface at all. Like my game should show up in this area, but it doesn't. So in order to show, you see, this video is going to suck because I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know what I'm doing with this interface. And that's not on me. That's on the people who designed this crappy interface. And I mean, it is. It's on the people who designed this crappy interface. I should be able to find stuff. And I'm busy talking as well. So if you go to recent captures, so here, let's see all. I'm going to show you. So here's some captures. So if I click see all, and the problem is when you capture something, everything only 4K HDR captures only stay on your hard drive. I mean, you can only view them on this. I tried hooking this up to my PC, and for the life of me, I can't get any of these clips to actually work on my PC. And forget about the Mac because the hard drive has to be formatted into Microsoft's NFTS file system, and my Mac doesn't read it. I mean, I do have software that I paid like $30 for to get it to read the hard drive, but I shouldn't have to do that. That stuff should be like easy. And the only way to stream anything off of this console, directly off this console, is you have to stream it through Mixer. And if I want to get a capture off of this hard drive, I have to save it into 1080p format. And if you go to YouTube, you can't upload anything directly from YouTube either. So this thing is horrible. It really is. I was really hoping to be able to show you guys some awesome 4K streaming from this system, and I can't. So yeah, I really don't like this at all. So I'm kind of torn as to whether or not I want to, so if you go to upload, and I've tried numerous different formats to upload video from, and this YouTube app doesn't recognize anything. So I'm a little frustrated with this system. But if you want to talk about the games themselves, the games are actually pretty stunning. I mean, I'm really loving the games. I've been playing a lot of Call of Duty because, again, Activision sent me a copy of this game, and I want to thank them again, but I really love it. It looks glorious. It really looks glorious here. I mean, come on, look at that. How do you not like the way that looks? So yeah, I wanted to keep this short, but I'm torn as to whether or not I want to return this because I had the Scorpio edition, and if I return this, you know what's going to happen? They're going to replace it with the regular edition, so I'm not even going to get my special edition that I paid for and wanted. And the other issue is if I return it, then that's it. I'm going to be done with the Xbox platform permanently because I returned my Xbox One S in order to get this. So basically, I only paid about $240 for the Scorpio, But I only returned my S, and I'm going to have nothing to replace it with. In the meantime, I'm going to have all these games on this platform, and I'm going to end up losing. So if you go over here, I really hate this interface. Everything just feels harder than it needs to be. So if you go here, so you can see all the games I have. I have Assassin's Creed, Call of Duty, Gears 4, Madden. I kind of went all in on this. I went all in. I mean, Xbox had an amazing Black Friday deal, so I went all in. I got Wolfenstein, Battlefront, Quantum Break, which I've always had, Tomb Raider. I bought a bunch of enhanced games for the system. If you want to see my full games list, you see, I've never been an avid Xbox gamer, so I probably don't have a lot of games on the X, but I do have a lot. So this is my list of games, and I'm gonna have to give all of this stuff up because, you know, I don't have another Xbox to fall back on, so I don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do. But I do have a PS4 Pro. I like the games on it. I love the interface. But I hate Sony, and I hate Sony fanboys. And I feel like I'm rewarding bad behavior no matter which direction I go in. So I'm kind of torn because, again, I'm assuming all of these issues will be patched at some point in the next 6 months. But I shouldn't have to wait for that. I shouldn't be a guinea pig for a $500 console. And again, I don't really care about the price. I think you get a lot of bang for your buck, and at least on paper. And once this thing is patched up, it's going to be a beast. But I don't want to be sitting around waiting for some patch to come through and have it not deliver what I paid my hard-earned money for. So yeah, I will probably end up returning this, but I'm kind of disappointed. So that's it. That's my impressions. Sorry if it's a little rambly, but what can you do? Please, PS4 fanboys, I don't want to hear from you in my comments. I don't care about the PS4. I own both consoles. I actually have a Switch too, so I don't care. But yeah. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Bye.